Hi there, Brock Vandenberg, fund manager for TaliMar Income Fund. Common question I get from investors is, Brock, what key performance indicators do you normally look at in assessing the health and growth of the loan portfolio? Good response to that is we look at key performance indicators throughout the life cycle of the loan. And there's kind of there's four key life stages in the life cycle plus investor relations. So you've got the loan origination, you've got the underwriting, you've got loan closing, and then you have loan servicing. And then the other key component is the investor relations, and it has its own key performance indicators. So let's start with loan origination. What indicators do I normally look at? Well, number one, I want to see how many loans are we funding in a given month. On average, we're funding about 8 to 10 million a month, and that's kind of our core focus, and that's about 10 to 12 million a month. Average loan size is just shy of $1 million. So we want to be balance a good 8 to 10 million. That balance is between about the amount of payoffs I receive in a given month plus the investor capital that is added to the fund. The other key performance indicator is how many loan requests are coming in. Out of maybe the 10 or 12 loans that we're funding, we're probably receiving 100 to maybe 125 loans with applications. So these are not just phone calls, but applications that come in and go through our review process. When we look at loans, we're looking at, okay, where is the loan? We want to keep it in markets that we know, primarily California and Southern California. We're looking at property type. Typically, we're single family, multifamily. We look at some commercial deals. We're looking at borrower credit and income. Yes, as a private lender, we want to make sure that our borrowers have a historic track record of paying debts and making sure that they have the income necessary to make the payments on the loan. And then we're looking at loan to value ratio as well. Typically, we want to stick at about 65% or below from a loan to value ratio. Those are kind of some of the key components, or probably some other components that I missed out on the origination. When you move into moving into underwriting, you're making sure that those key performance indicators that we talked about, those underwriting criteria, are actually met. We know within the private debt industry and the loans that come in, typically there's always going to be something that doesn't meet your underwriting guidelines, and you need to underwrite that. You need to understand what it is that doesn't meet the underwriting guidelines, and are you comfortable with that risk? For example, in some cases we may have a low loan to value ratio alone, but with a borrower that might have credit below that 675 minimum that we have. And we want to understand why that credit is there. It's pretty common for real estate investors that flip houses or build houses to have credit that fluctuates. And that's because they may be using a lot of credit at a specific amount of time or specific moment in time that might drive their credit down. So when we look at credit, again, we're looking at what's the history of paying debt on time is kind of what our criteria is. Other underwriting stuff, if we're looking at a heavy construction loan or ground up construction loan, are the permits in place? And amongst other items that we're looking for, obviously from the property, we're looking at making sure that there's no environmental issues. Property is in a condition that we're comfortable with. If it's a fix and flip loan, a lot of these properties are in pretty poor condition, but that we understand that and that we can underwrite and mitigate that risk. From a loan closing standpoint, key performance indicators that we look at is how quickly are we closing. One of the, one reason why borrowers come to us is that we can close very quickly, typically within 2 weeks of a loan application. So that's a key performance indicator that we're looking at. We also want to make sure that we have the appropriate title policy in place. The property insurance is in place. Our loan closer is also responsible for reviewing the file to make sure that it meets our underwriting guidelines, and if they don't, that we're understanding what issues there are with a loan that we're trying to get comfortable with. And then from an investor relations standpoint, normally we raise about 3 to 4 million a month in terms of new investor capital. In terms of withdrawals, they're actually relatively minimal. I think maybe on average there's about 300, maybe 400,000 withdrawn at any given month. And those are the key performance indicators from the investor relations standpoint. Hopefully that gives you some insight into what we look for in terms of ascertaining and measuring the health of the portfolio, the growth of the portfolio. I want to say thank you very much for those investors that have been involved or they're currently involved in the fund. We appreciate your trust. And for those that are interested in learning more about the mortgage fund, I'll go ahead and put a link to the executive summary below. If you felt that this video was insightful, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we post a lot of great content about the private debt space, how we're operating, give you updates on what we're seeing in the marketplace. So thanks for taking a moment to watch, and look forward to hearing from you. And remember, don't feel free to comment. We love to hear comments from you. Thanks.